Hello all, and welcome to my new YouTube channel, Alite Filmmakers. This channel is about my quest to potentially enter a filmmaking career and as a visually impaired person. So this channel is going to include how I edit different videos and my video editing skills using different video editing softwares, and we have quite a lot of exciting content depending on how everything goes. But one of the recommendations for a filmmaking career, in case you want to follow my lead and become a filmmaker, is learning how to animate, which is a key thing in video editors. There are no real requirements as such, but they do recommend animation, and they also recommend that you try and work with famous people as possible. Now, over the months during this COVID lockdown, I will be working with 4K files, and I don't have a 4K camera and I don't have anything that is 4K. However, I'm using a media converting app to produce those 4K files. I do aim to get a 4K camera though later on in the year, and also although I do intend to practice with a 4K camera, should I get when I get it rather, this COVID lockdown and its various restrictions are going to prove quite a barrier at the moment. So in the meantime, I'm stuck with photos that I've taken with my Nintendo 3DS converted into 4K, and I've also had an idea on converting some TV programs into 4K and making slideshows out of that so I can practice my animation techniques. So, as the saying goes, practice makes perfect, and you are therefore going to join me on my journey. Today, I'm going to practice brightening up some photos that were taken on my Nintendo 3DS. Well, it's actually a video taken on my Nintendo 3DS. It was at night time, which therefore means it's dark, and it was in the car. And also because the car, as it's moving, it's capturing some scenes as it's moving along. I thought it will therefore be interesting to see how well the Nintendo captured the objects. So that is what I'm going to be doing in this video.
Play files.
I guess I want to show you a few things I did before we launch into this topic.
Media.
As you can see, we've got a video, not too well, as you can see, we've got a video, and if I click on the contextual menu,
Open, select file, unable call, 8 volume, jet size, 813, date,
is 813 megabytes,
video, my files, video in dimensions,
and you've got dimensions,
6490 x 2160,
6490 x 2160, and that is 4K, a very big resolution that was achieved by my media converter. I therefore went and converted the video into a set of images for my photo editing. I will be doing video editing as well, but I mainly want to focus on photos.
Part 3, Part 2, Part 1, list, Part 5, Part 1, glow plug shadow mounting trip,
Glow capture. And the app I use to convert the videos to photo is actually called Video to Photo, and it's done by Voight software, but I will provide a link in the description. But one of the things I wanted to show you is the images resolution.
Open, delete, file info, block, jet, 100, my file image dimension 4352 x 2001.
So although the width is not exactly the same, the value has not been lost to a degree. So for those of you who are wondering, well, I've got a 4K camera, would it keep the value of my videos? Yes, it would, or yes, it should do. The software that I'll be using is called MyMovie, and it's actually called Video Editor for YouTube
Button. My movie.
with MyMovie at the end
My movie.
prior to installation.
Create video. Rate video.
And although there are lots of video editors, because I'm a screen reader user, most of them pose numerous problems such as unlabeled buttons, and they are quite inaccessible. But some of them, such as Action Director, are very annoying, where you have to rather confirm that you want to add a video or photo. And while it may seem a small thing, if you've got hundreds of photos, which we may be working with, should I enter a filmmaking career, that means you're going to spend a long time adding and then developing. So this MyMovie app you don't have to confirm, which is brilliant and is a lot easier.
Flow plug underscore. Unlabeled photos. Selected, unlabeled. Row 2, selected, unlabeled. Selected, unlabeled. Column 2.
You will have to bear with me while I find my bearings. I'm only going to add a few for this demo.
Unlabeled.
And I think that's it. We'll leave it at that.
Alert processing.
Now, this movie app does have unlabeled buttons, but there are not a sea of unlabeled buttons most of the time, which is fairly good. This movie does have a watermark, or this app does have a watermark, which is essentially the developer logo, but you can remove that by clicking on the button that I'm focusing on.
Remove. Free.
You can either get the Pro, which I do recommend doing, but I mainly use the free option. Now, I also converted the images to 4K because I did do this task before, and because of the image's low resolution due to the camera it was taken on, i.e. my 3DS, the 3DS has a very low resolution of 400x200 or something like that. The picture was actually quite small, which I wasn't really expecting. So hopefully the 4K should eliminate the size problem. Also, when I did undertake this task, I actually converted part of the outing video, which was constructed using a video editor called Video Show. And I had been fond of Video Show until the developer decided to put some sort of silly policies. And also, it should be noted that if you do use Video Show, the free version, editing 4K in general, I think, is actually a privilege. Whereas this MyMovie app, you can do it free or pro, as you can see. So the reason why I brought up the Video Show, by the way, is the free version comes with a watermark. Now I managed to find the source files, the source video files, which therefore have no watermark, and I actually constructed them into a continuous video, which again is watermark free. So when we therefore brighten up the images, you won't have the watermark staring you in your face. So that's why I brought up the Video Show. To adjust the brightness, you have to click on the adjust and then click on the second adjust option, which is slightly above the first one. And you've got a set of filters here that you can use to sharpen.
Ignoring next key press.
Exposure. Double tap to activate. Line adjust. Contrast. Sharpen. Double tap to activate.
Now the thing
Exposure.
about these filters is
Double
they're
tap
very
to act
close
50%.
together, and the slide bar is horizontal.
94%.
Now I'm going to
Exposure.
go a little bit all over the place
50%.
for now
90%.
with the touch screen.
Lightness. Lightness. Contrast. Contrast. Double tap to add 50% contrast. Exposure 91. Contrast. Double tap. Contrast. Double tap to add lightness. 50.
As you can see, it's quite a pain and time consuming
68%.
process working with
Sequence.
this
Contrast.
editor
Double tap. A contrast. Double
with
tap.
this
A contrast.
problem.
Contrast. Lightness. Lightness. 44%. 69. Light saturation. Double tap to act lightness. Bit saturation.
Especially if
Double
you
tap
are a
to add
screen
50%.
reader user
69%.
like myself.
Saturation. 50. Vignette. 50%.
Not too sure what the
Control.
vignette filter is all
Move
about, so
volume
perhaps you
keys to
can tell me in the
white balance.
comments.
Double tap
And I
to
often
act.
leave the white balance alone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this video, tweak the filters, and then I'll be back with you. Alright then, we are back with you now.
Unlabeled. Scale.
And
Edge up.
as you can see, that all the filters are nicely
82%.
evened out. I personally like the filters evened out
80, 80, 82, 82, 50%.
because they were evened out in the first place. I haven't touched the vignette filter and the white balance filter though, because they are as they are. But
82.
one thing I want to show you is how you can adjust this with the keyboard arrow. So if I do the arrow down,
82%. 84. 84.
it's gone down to 84%. This My Movie app, one thing that I have found is that it is very exact
84. 83.
in
83.
its figuring.
81. 82.
So if I
82. 82. 82. 82.
it's only going to go down slowly.
82. 81. 82.
So I'm just going to leave it there. But that is one thing I wanted to go through with you.
Unlabeled.
To export the video, you just click on the button next to the remove watermark button.
720. Export. 7.
Now, if you're using 4K images, make sure that you export them into Full HD, and also the Full HD exporting or exportion, or
720. Select.
however you want to call it, gives you less problems. Now, I have had problems in the past when exporting it into 720p or 480 or what have you, as the final product seems to flicker an awful lot or you don't get much on the screen. Also, try not to add too many photos. I personally will add 100 at the most at one time, because obviously these video to photo apps do produce a lot of videos, a lot of photos rather, depending on the time interval set. So therefore 100 photos is going to be fairly small. And obviously if you do enter a filmmaking career, then you're going to have a sea of photos. So that's why practice makes perfect. You're going to have 1080p, and the quality doesn't really matter,
Medium.
because before I've had it on medium quality and it has worked just fine.
My Movie. 1. 3.1.
4.9.
So it's got 4.9%.
Safe 7.60%.
7.60%. I don't think I'm going to sort of wait for that to
Button.
develop,
Window.
but
File.
what I will do is, let me try and find
My movie. List
a
done.
video that I have.
Flow pub video 2021. Oh, video.
Actually, let me show you the video itself
Flow
quickly.
X. Elap. Show more. Enter full. Elap.
So as you can probably see, it's fairly dark,
Video.
but the video is in 4K, so I'm not too sure whether you can notice or not. But the next time I film with you all, I will show you the final product, and we will do some more possibly animations, and then we'll move on to video. But I hope you've enjoyed this first part of this video.
Banner.
Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos to come. Please subscribe to the channel for more filmmaking advice, and we will see you soon.